Now let's talk about a good show. Let's talk about a great show.
Let's talk about a show that had some of it. It literally represented the best and worst at times for this show. We are obviously going to skip over and talk about NXT New Year's Evil, January 6, 2021. The show is 6 days late to be New Year's Evil. I don't know why they actually didn't have it on the previous.
And I did what you asked, and I actually wrote where the commercial breaks were.
Thank you, because, I'm rage quitting. Open. Loomis is scary. So, Loomis is in an empty arena, and he comes in and he starts bumping a nozzle and turning a dial and doing stuff, and he's trying to figure out everything, and I think the idea for this is that we're going inside Loomis's mind to watch the show, because he hits the power breaker button, and the lights go on, and everybody's in the crowd, and the disco balls are flashing, and he's got on the coolest jacket I've ever seen. He literally went from psychopathic murderer to David Bowie artist. Like, that jacket was so cool, I want one.
Really good-looking psychopathic murderer.
It looked like... The thing that was awesome I know this is absolutely nothing to do with the rest of the show. I liked the fact that Loomis looked like he was having fun while selling nothing. He literally kept the same psycho facials and then just looked like he was having fun.
Yeah, we won't spoil the really fun part with him later.
Yes. Match 1, Priest versus Cross.
I picked Cross to win.
I also picked Cross to win because it's... I thought about this when this happened. So, one, this match is coming to us commercial break free. Yep. You got that, right? Yep. Okay. There are no commercial interruptions because they want to show off the big, just smacking into each other. The big rhinos are going at it, right?
Priest...
I didn't mean to cut you off. Let me finish this, though. It's interesting if you look at Cross, how all of wrestling works. Cross was supposed to go to Cole. That was his destiny, the championship. Cross gets derailed because Lee takes both belts. Cross has to go to Lee. Cross gets hurt and can't go to Lee. Lee goes up to the roster. Cross is basically left with a legitimate thing of, it's supposed to be mine.
No, he had the belt.
Yeah, he had the belt.
He had to give it up.
He had to give it up, so Cross gets injured. Lee's not there. Cole's in a different program. He comes back to nobody, and there's Priest, who just got freed up. And Priest's circle of how he ended up hitting into Cross was just amazing, how they tied all these kids together. Like, I thought this was great. But yes, I did pick Cross to win because of the undefeated streak I thought was going to stay. Your thought?
I thought Priest was supposed to go up to SmackDown last week.
Really? Oh, no, don't take him off NXT.
Right.
Don't do this yet. Unless you're going to make him destroy Roman.
So what was supposed to happen is... We'll talk about it when we get to SmackDown.
Okay, all right. We'll get to SmackDown, and... So, one...
Teaser.
Karrion apparently heard us talking about his size because, man, he was jacked when he came out. Scarlett has red on her boob windows and a red mark down her face, so clearly everyone is watching the show when I made the comments of, why is she called Scarlett? She never wears red. Why is Elsa Dawn called the White Witch? She's never in white. Apparently they heard.
What do you think of the entrance?
It's that entrance is designed for main roster, but I like it because it's unique. It's different. I like her singing the song, and then the way the cameras are set up. The only thing I didn't like is these guys are supposed to just be... I understand not starting House of Fire on the first match as we criticized for this, which is why I do not believe this should have been the first match. Match 2 should have been first match. This should have been maybe 2 or 3 matches down the line. Because why is Priest going to wait for this cinematic entrance to hit when him and Cross are in this blood feud?
Do you think that entrance would look good live?
Yes. I think the entrance would look good live. We did not see it because Cross was not...
Right, no.
He wasn't on the roster the last time.
Because, I remember how disappointed I was when we saw Finn Balor's entrance live. Or when we saw Bray Wyatt live.
Well, I think Bray's problem was we were in a bad seating location.
Well, but also all them fireflies really light the place up.
Yeah, well, really what it is everybody's cell phone is just...
That's the fireflies.
Yes.
All right. So anyway,
hell of a match. These guys the idea is these are two big guys. Priest, I think, is designed to be more in the vein of like Shinsuke, more striker strong, where Karrion is designed to be more bruiser, technical strong in a way, because there's a lot of suplexes, a lot of kicks, a lot of clotheslines. These guys beat the shit out of each other. I was super surprised.
I liked how the Priest sold his, the hurting. When he didn't have enough of that inverted suplex, he just couldn't quite get it all the way up.
They did this great of, and the announcers were actually good on this because they didn't do the thing that Cole and Graves do, which is the guys walking down the ramp and they go, hey, remember, he's hurt. They waited until something happened in the match and goes, Karrion's targeting the ribs. Priest's ribs are injured from when he put him through the table last week. Good way of setting up the show and putting in our heads, ooh, Priest is hurt.
I don't know if it was the camera angle, but I thought Priest was going to take his head out on that flip outside the ring.
Oh, my Lord.
It was like, you just missed knocking yourself unconscious.
I love Priest. We've been watching him for a while, and man, that's something that just lays it on the line, doesn't he?
And that powerbomb by Cross, though?
Well, you notice he had to write it, too.
Yeah.
Which goes to show us, I was like, he had to have heard us talking about him, because that dude was jacked when he came out. And yeah, he got Priest up and was just kind of like, oh, Priest's torso is as long as his legs. And got him, and boom! This was a hell of a match. I wrote down 2.5, potential 3-star match, because I wrote plus a star for this. I think it was because...
You don't cross it over for me? After everything Cross did... I'm still standing, bitch!
Oh my god, I have that in my notes. I love that.
And then he gets knocked the F out.
He lays him out, and Priest is staggering around. I'm still standing, bitch. And finally, Cross just goes, time's up, and just clocks him right in the back of the head. Lays him out. Cross's winning streak stays intact. Hell of an opener. Should not have been your opener.
If Jericho did his Judas effect that effectively, I'd believe it.
Like I said, I'm not... An elbow will wreck you. Like, it really will. But a lot of times, like, the discus lariats and the discus elbows and stuff, I've never been a huge fan of seeing it because it just looks like it's one of those setups. But, man, when that thing connected, I was like, ooh, I don't know if he was ready for that. Like, that... You heard it like a shotgun. Backstage, Cole and Roddy are deciding to rep the Undisputed Era in the Dusty Cup. Blonde is super hot.
Her outfit was horrible.
Yeah, but she looked.
So then
nice.
I have S02 versus Lucha Party.
Lucha House Party versus the Drug Cartel. It's one. I don't know who the guy was in the Mazinger mask that he took off before he started to wrestle. Please
That's
tell
S02.
No. The other guy, the guy for Lucha.
Oh.
He had a Mazinger freaking Japanese anime. He had the
so you had Grand Metalik.
So that's who it was. So Grand Metalik.
Who looks like the Blue Power Ranger.
Fucking Meadowlark Lemon here versus Escobar for the Cruiserweight belt. I made sure to write down who is the Mazinger for Lucha House Party. Apparently it's Meadowlark Lemon here. I wrote down, they are trying so hard to push Escobar. So hard. They fuck up the rope walk when they're outside because... The sad thing is the announcers go, look at him, he's walking down the ropes. And the idea was, I think, is that Escobar was supposed to yank him off the ropes and catch him and put him down. And they both fell off the side of the apron. But luckily, Metalik was able to hold on to the ropes to give Escobar time to right him to where his legs were still around his neck. So he was able to yank him off the apron and just slam him into the wall.
It was the best match I've seen Escodouche do.
I mean, the match with Jake Atlas was so much better. It basically turned into every single American Lucha Libre match, which is somebody goes to rip the mask. Yep. And the mask gets in the way, and the dude is constantly readjusting his mask and everything. And I like Lucha. I'm not a hater. I love the history of Lucha. Lucha is in Mexico and Japan and the UK that we've seen. Basically everywhere except for America takes wrestling seriously to a point. But it was just every American Lucha match you've seen for the last 15, 20 years. and it wasn't great.
It was a 2.5-star match.
I did put down, sadly, yeah, it was a 2.5-star match. Winner, Escobar, 1, 2, 3 in the middle. I guess Lucha House Party, because they showed up on the other show later, are just visiting NXT for some reason, because apparently the guy...
2 weeks in a row that they've been on both shows.
Yes, so apparently the guy who they're building up, who is the king of all Lucha, needs to work with luchadors, but he really doesn't work Lucha style, so they should just make him main roster and just stick him in the mid-card with, like, fucking Retribution or something. Like, the guy's okay enough to be on the main roster. He's never going to be a main event.
We'll talk about Retribution later.
No, we won't, because they didn't get on my recap.
They did? On
Pre-tape, the Magical Asians. I
wrote, the Chinas are coming.
That's a little much.
The Chinese people are coming.
Yes, because it shows kanji. Next. Swords and blunt smoke is what I wrote down.
I wrote, Mortal Kombat, ?
Yeah, same pre-cut shit. Pre-tape.
She had the hat. Oh, I'm talking about when they came to the ring, sorry.
Yeah, when they came to the ring, we'll get to that. Pre-tape, Mercedes, I want Io Shirai. Your dad snuck Io Shirai out from under me, and yeah, that was pretty good. Promo, Magical Asian Story is finally here. The Sith Lord and Mortal Kombat.
She had the Raiden hat on.
They come out. I wrote down they do ninja shit. Sean asks, they're doing all this. Is she gonna lose now? And I looked at him and I said, well, if this was TNA about 10 years ago, yeah, she'd probably lose.
So Zaya has actually gained some muscle. Dad and I were like, wow, she worked out.
Zaya looked jacked. Like, she was bigger than freaking some of the guys. She was bigger than Gargano.
And I wrote, who the heck is this woman in pink? Okay, never mind.
Yep, I wrote down, Zaya beats up the junkie whore from 7-Eleven. What the fuck? Winner, Zaya Lee, squash match.
No rank.
Zoom into the smoke, and they disappear, and the announce team goes, we gotta move on. That's like my favorite line that guy on the announce team says, is we gotta move on, because that's exactly how I felt. We have to move on from this. They built this up like it was something amazing that we took a shit on every single week that they aired it, and this woman came out to have the same squash match that Karrion and a couple other people like Bronson have had when they come back, against somebody who legit looked like...
They found her backstage.
They found her on the street corner and stuffed a lucha mask on her head. And I apologize to you, lady. I know body types, and I'm not trying to be sexual about it all. You look like shit. You were falling out of that outfit, and your mask looked awful, and you could barely do anything. And they let her get offense in, which was the dumbest thing I saw, because Jai does this thing. She does the big power grasp thing, right? So she lays the other girl out, and she's doing the chi channeling that you typically see in like brick breaking and stuff, right? And she gets down and she's and she stands up, and the girl kicks her in the midsection, takes a bump for her. No, don't ever let your squash people get offense in unless the idea is they just flat out murder them like Diesel. Like the guy kicks Diesel in the kneecap, and then Diesel just puts him through the ring like it's nothing, like a fucking cinder block just falling off of a building. Do that. Don't ever let your enhancement talent get stuff in unless they can actually work. This person could not work.
You spent way more time on it than deserved.
I apologize.
That lasted longer than the match.
It did. The Magical Asians disappear into the smoke. We gotta move on, and we have to move on to the saddest fucking news of the night. Thatcher has been injured while training for the cage match. Regal states that he is ineligible to compete because of the medical staff, and they will have their match at a later date. They shot a pre-tape with Thatcher being interviewed by the medical team. Don't know what it is. It looked like he might have got concussed or something because they were doing the finger thing.
I researched my ass off on this, and I cannot find a legitimate source or a legitimate reason. Is this a wellness issue? Is this a COVID issue?
I don't know what it was. I hope it's not a family issue. I hope it's nothing serious.
Uncle Dave said it's a storyline injury, but he doesn't know why.
Okay, interesting. Okay. Pre-tape. Bronson has aggression. Beth, you just need to get a T-shirt that just says "New Aggressive" across it.
He picked Rhea.
Okay. So match 3, Ripley, my gal, my franchise, my love of my wrestling life now, because I have my wife, who is the love of my life. Last woman standing match versus Raquel.
With only one commercial break.
One commercial break. And I'm going to scream when it comes to that. This is the issue I had with this match. It's match 3 in the middle of the card. It's probably top of the hour, honestly.
Yeah.
If I look at where they were probably at, it was probably top of the hour, which means they were trying to get the most on this, which I can appreciate.
You would have swapped this match with the match that comes next.
Yes.
Okay. I agree.
Like I said, this was a WrestleMania quality promo building up this match. There were just things wrong with it. So Rhea does her full normal entrance and then demands Raquel come out. So she does her full cocky entrance, slamming the ground and flipping the jacket up and gets in the ring and everything. As soon as she takes her stuff off, she's like, Raquel, where are you at? Raquel, come on down. What you waiting for? Come on, Raquel. You just did your full entrance. Be pissed off the moment you come out. Don't listen to Hunter. Listen to me. Okay? Ripley starts off House of Fire. Just, they go at it super hard. Raquel douses that shit very quickly. Whoo! She goes, all right, gut wrench across the ring. Gut wrench across the other side of the ring. Gut wrench to the other side of the ring. Slow down, bitch. Ooh, this was awesome. This was very good. I wrote, she suplexed her fucking plug out of her ear. Rhea's plug pops out, and you see it roll across the ring, and you see the referee kick it out of the ring. That is how much she was just throwing this woman around like it was a rag doll. Awesome, awesome stuff. Drop kick from the steps, baseball bat swing with a chair. Ripley handcuffs Raquel to the retaining wall of the fence. Kendo stick gets broken, beating the shit out of her. Raquel rips the fence in off.
When she came on, I wrote, well, that fence came out pretty easy.
I wish they would have just had her break the cuffs instead of rip the fence off, because
it was cut very nicely.
Oh, it was a perfect. It was a perfect octagonal cut, man. You're not going to rip a chain link fence in half. Don't.
And you're not going to get an octagon out of it.
No. If anything, she would have ripped it up and out if that would have been possible.
That was like 8 to 10.
Yeah. She also probably would have broken her wrist trying that. You should have just had her snap the cuffs. That would have been equally as impressive, but I understand.
More believable.
We've seen cuffs several times, especially Ken Owens recently. We've seen handcuffs come into play. We've seen the big monster snap the handcuffs before. We've seen a lot of this before, so I get doing something new of her ripping the fence apart, but that was just unbelievable. Not in the, oh my god, that was unbelievable, but just, oh, okay. They beat the crap out of each other. And then the announcers say the same thing that the announce team says every time. It's all legal! And then we go to fucking... No. Oh, that's right.
You can't.
Then they brawl to the back, and they go past...
Stop.
Wait, what did I miss?
The back table, their table bump with that back.
Shoot. Yes, I missed that. Yes.
So it looked like, she hit square on the shoulder, corner of the table, not quite the Randy bump, but the full on, your head's going to be on the table. She undershot the table, which
she Keith Lee'd it.
And
she went right on her spine. And this is, by the way, Raquel does this to Ripley.
Yeah.
Ripley gets laid out across the table in a not good way.
Table doesn't break like it's supposed to. No, it did break.
It broke, but it literally did that nice thing that the table does where it goes, smack, wrestler, and then the table breaks. And it's like, ooh, the table just broke because it's staged. It didn't break because it went.
And then Rhea Gonzalez threw a bunch of stuff on top of her, trying to bury her.
Yes, trying to do the 10 count. She flips the table on top of her. She grabs the computer chair, throws it on top of her, grabs part of the throws it on top of her. Then they go to commercial, right? And I think to myself, no commercial break here, please, guys. We could have lost the lucha match for this, and this could have gone longer. We come back. Raquel is out of the handcuffs. Oh, by the way, she's been wrestling with the fence attached to her arm for the last 3 minutes. We come back from commercial. The girls are beating the shit out of each other near the backstage area, and Raquel does not have the handcuffs on her.
I didn't even notice that.
Immediately, I just went, man, I'd like to know what happened to those handcuffs. I was like, did she have a key? Did Ripley have a key? Did the ref have a key? Did someone have a key? Did she rip the handcuffs off of her own hand?
But she went through a glass door, so...
So, they brawl to the back, and they have a great shot where Ripley picks her up and spears her through the office glass door that you would typically see at like a doctor's office or something, shatters the glass door. I wrote down, ouch. Oh, yeah, back body drop onto table from Ripley. Ouch. Then they brawl through the back. They get to a spot in the back where there's some lockers and there's a concession table and everything lined up.
And then I wrote, no, not the pirates, booty.
The funny thing is Ripley flips her up onto the table, and there was the aluminum big pan thing, right? I was so hoping she threw Raquel's head into like a thing of like baked beans or something, and that was going to happen, and we were going to get a
prepackaged chips.
Yeah, we were going to get a replay of the Nasty Boys and what was it, the Heat match with the food. Oh no, it was the
COVID rules, prepackaged.
Yeah, everything was prepackaged and done. It was not actually open food. Throws her on top of that with the chips. Yes, there was Pirates booty there because they're in Florida. And then...
the chips broke her fall.
Ripley climbs up and goes, I can get higher, and climbs on top of the lockers. It didn't look like she was really high, but those lockers are kind of high, and she's a really tall girl, so she was probably up there. Quick note, Rhea is in black with green stitching. I wonder who's producing her, because she goes, suck it to Raquel, and does I guess you would call it a swanton? What would you say? She didn't do a swan, she did a senton? She did a senton bomb off onto Raquel, through the table, onto the concrete floor, wipes her out. She came out on the top part of Raquel, up here, not down here. So I bet Ripley probably caught the concrete pretty hard on that.
And then here comes Dakota, acting like Rhea owes her some money.
Dakota comes out with a kendo stick and proceeds to beat the shit out of Ripley. And Ripley goes, look, little girl, the grown-ups are talking. Remember, they're beside lockers, like the lockers you would see in a YMCA locker room.
Not tall, but two verse.
Yes, they're double stacked. Actually, I think they were triple stacked. And she takes Dakota Kai and shoves her in a locker, kicks the locker door shut, and shoves another table in front of her, and just basically like, nope. And the only thing I could think of was, I was like, yep, I bet that happened to her a lot. Oh my lord. Dakota Kai is awful. She looked like shit. She couldn't do anything. And seeing Ripley do that, I hope they left her. I hope we come back next week and Dakota is like in the lockers like, somebody! Loved it. Inverted cloverleaf. We're back out on the ramp.
With the chair.
Ripley picks her up. Now, they've been doing this thing, and they do it with several different wrestlers. They did it with Keith Lee a couple times. They keep going to a spot to work on because they have to take the monster down. Ripley's recently has been her arms. Io Shirai beat up on her arms. You know, you can only do the legs so many times, so they keep saying, you know, if you take the arm out, you take the power out, because Ripley is going to have this amazing power when she goes to do something. Gets her up with the inverted cloverleaf, looks over, grabs a chair, and puts it over Raquel's head and grabs it and starts yanking on her head back with a chair wrapped around her chin. I've never seen that. That was dope as shit. Are we recording?
Yeah, I'm just double checking.
Okay, all right, good, because I am gold this motherfucker right now.
We're at 96%. My battery's not going to die.
Raquel, it was odd. Like, she got out of that. Raquel lays her out. And then they fight over to a section of the wonderful stage.
Found the weak spot. The weak spot.
Yes, the weak spot of the stage. I assume that, like, this works when Ray popped up or Gangrel and stuff popped up. When you don't have wrestlers entering from the stage, it looks kind of weird to just find a hole in the middle of the stage. And Raquel does the one arm, like, slam with Ripley. They go through the stage. Ripley is buried under the stage. Raquel climbs out. The ref has been counting the whole time. And that was a good part of the story that they did tell, which was the ref was counting them both, and they both would stay down, and then one would get up and then the next. And then a different one would get up and then the next. So they had a good story in that aspect. And Raquel climbs out of the hole. Raquel is your winner. I wrote down 3.5-star match, despite all of the negative things that I said with this. It's not just because I love you, baby, but this was very, very hard hitting. This was a damn different style. This was a lot of people don't like this match, but
really?
It was not this particular one. I'm gonna parallel it. This was like Hunter and Taker 1, where like they put they go through Michael Cole's weird little plexiglass booth and they just beat the shit out of each other because Hunter knew they weren't going to have the technical masterpiece that Taker just had with Shawn back to back. So they had to have a brutal match. These two knew that everybody has kind of seen them be powerhouses in the ring. They needed to use the toys nearby and use them effectively, which they did. And they just beat the shit out of each other. And they did some stuff I hadn't seen, like the inverted cloverleaf with it. Granted, it was dumb, but ripping the fence wall off was something I didn't see. I haven't seen that really, I mean, I think I've seen it probably in like a cage match in WCW in like the 80s or something with like, Doug Furnace or something, but still. This was a great match. It was a great women's match. It showed that the women will hit each other as hard as the men will.
I gave it 4 stars.
Woo!
I thought the match was the best match of the night.
Oh, no, we are going to have a long talk about the best match of the night.
And I thought that the one critique I actually had was technically Gonzalez was not standing. She was on her knees on the stage. Which Dad pointed out, goes, she ain't the last woman standing. She's on her knees.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have next Gargano arriving by green police lights.
I'm guessing that's what they have in Tampa. If any of our fans who are in Tampa were watching this, please tell us what color your police lights are.
I wrote, the way has arrived. Woohoo!
I wrote down, the way has police escort. Why? They're not Hogan. South Korea now has NXT. Welcome to the show, South Korea. You picked a damn good show to come in on. The Way. Oh, Miz and Morrison. Nope, sorry, it's The Way. They come out. Shotzi comes out. Loomis makes a match between
Kushida and Shotzi.
With Gargano and Candice. I guess Candice's wrist is healed up from her injury, which was fine. This happened because they didn't have the Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa match. Because this went on so long. They talked, and I'm not going to go through all of it, but they talked, and they talked, and they talked, and they fucking talked. And then finally something happened, and the coolest thing that happened was Loomis standing in the ring, and he goes, bell, ding, points to the wall. He has a new character graphic drawn that shows the intergender tag match we're about to watch, and he just goes, bing.
Which he had enough time to draw with all the talking.
Yes.
So I wrote, crap, the Garganos are going to win this, aren't they? Now we have the treat. Loomis is on commentary.
I love it because he said nothing.
Vic Joseph's like, I agree with you, Loomis. What do you think, Wade? Wade's like, he ain't said a damn thing. You just can't hear him.
He's giving me nothing. That was okay. Like I said,
and he said, "Hey, I don't know, man." The way he goes, the only thing I can say is, I wonder where I can get a suit like that.
I said they gave Loomis personality that didn't destroy him needlessly. That had everybody reacting to what Loomis was doing or not doing, which fit in with his character perfectly. Everything they did was perfect with Loomis tonight and kept him on course.
I want to take a moment and I want to invite everybody to watch show number 2, in which Michael says, "I hate Loomis. There's nothing about Loomis I'm going to like. I hated him in TNA, and I don't want to see him on NXT." And I said, "Give it some time."
Did you watch?
No.
Did you go back and watch anything with Dexter Shaw where he threatened to kill himself because somebody
Moving
didn't
on.
go on a date with him, and he was going to throw himself off the top of the cage. Okay, so anyway, I wrote down, assume this is to cover Thatch and Ciampa. Great tag work between Kushida and Shotzi. Holy crap, they work great. I was so surprised. I wrote down, Johnny and Kushida were very good. Candice and Shotzi, less good.
Shotzi overshoots LeRae by about 5 miles at one point.
Yeah, she was adrenaline was kicking. I don't have much to say about this.
Austin took in the nuts.
Winner was Kushida and Shotzi. This was a 2.5-star match. I had fun. I just didn't take a lot of notes on it because it was the filler match.
Yeah, I wrote Shotzi, she overshoots LeRae. Austin takes it in the nuts. Again, oh crap, I'm wrong. Kushida wins. I gave it 3.5 stars because I don't know. Maybe I was just in the adrenaline with everything else.
I gave it 2.5. Like, this was a fair match. I don't think this. You right there, bud?
Sorry.
I do not think that this should have been the co-main, especially with the 4.5 minutes of talking that happened. But I remembered, though, this is not a takeover.
Yeah. This
is on USA. So in a way, they have to pad the show a little bit to break up some things, and they can't just have barn burner main event. They had to have a little bit of flock, a little bit of dazzle, a little bit of razzle to get to the main event. Joseph's going to take a break for a second. Backstage, Regal has announced that there will be a Dusty Rhodes Women Tag Classic that has now been booked. So we're going to see some interesting combinations of teams that we're going to get. The women's division on NXT is deep. Like, it is very, very deep. As you saw, we did get a couple of our draft picks from the NXT women's division. But I mean, let me go through this real quick. This is NXT's women's division. Aaliyah, Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Ember Moon, Indy Hartwell, Io, Jasmine Duke, Jessie Kama? I don't know who this is. Casey Catanzaro, Caden Carter, Marina Sheriff, Mercedes Martinez, Raquel Gonzalez. This is My Brutality, Santana Garrett, Shotzi Blackheart, Tegan Knox, Toni Storm, Valentina Feroz, Vanessa Bourne, and Ja Lee, because she is now back doing Mortal Kombat shit. This is a deep women's roster that has got a lot of potential for that. So who's going to be put together for this Dusty Classic? I'm not sure. I imagine Raquel and Dakota will probably go together. I imagine you're probably going to see Casey and Kaden, who I believe were the two girls that were together.
Yep.
You'll probably see Ember and maybe Shotzi and Ember together or something. I imagine.
I'm picking Gonzalez and Dakota to win.
Yeah, Dakota and Gonzalez will probably be pretty good.
You're going to get Candice and her idiot.
Yeah, Candice and probably maybe Toni Storm.
No, Candice and the girl who comes out with her.
Indy. Indy Hartwell. Yeah. So you'll probably have Candice and Indy. Tony will probably be in there because they definitely want to probably play up with Dakota Ember Moon and them. I don't know if Ja would be involved in this. I don't know if Ripley's going to be involved in this. I don't know if Io is going to be involved in this. But seeing the fact that they're going to do it, somebody on the Facebook page said it right. Dusty would have been proud. Dusty was a fan of the ladies.
Yep. So the other thing that is definitely going to be, there's going to be a lot of tag team matches in NXT the next couple weeks.
Yes, which is going to be good. Especially, we're going to see a lot of good things. By the way, as I said, Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish is out. They have apparently decided that Roddy Strong is just not singles material and he needs to have a partner with them. So Adam Cole and Roddy are going to represent the Undisputed Era because we get to our main event of the night, Match 6, Kyle O'Reilly versus Finn for the NXT Championship. This is the sequel to what was the match of the year for the WWE vote, where Finn got his jaw broken 3 different places. I want to talk about, I don't know what I can say so much about this match that...
Not a single commercial break.
Yes, we are back. We have no commercial break during this match. They let the guys go, which was amazing.
So they listened to you.
I do want to say I apologize. The zombie ref. Okay? He's the Arabic-looking guy, okay? If you don't know, if you haven't seen him yet, but he's the guy who played the zombie ref that Loomis had recruited during the Cameron Grimes crap, right? He might be the best ref in the biz right now. I really want to talk about him for a second because this match was probably as close as you're going to get to a New Japan strong style UFC version of a match that you're going to see for this stuff outside of probably what like Dragunov and Walter did a couple months back.
Red Shoe should have...
Yeah, this guy was in place. He wasn't overbearing on the match. He knew where he was at, where he was looking for locks to count submissions, and where submissions were in place that would have counted for pins. He was in the proper place. I know that maybe he's not great in other areas, but in this match, I wasn't focused on the ref being in the way at times in places he shouldn't have been in. He was in the right place every single time for this match, which was awesome. Balor gets busted open by a knee during the submission switch when they were doing the cross arm bars, which was pretty cool. I literally have no notes on this match other than the fact that I am giving this a fucking 5-star match. This was a fucking amazing match. Winner Finn by submission on Kyle. Holy shit.
All right, so I'll give you my notes.
Give me your notes on it.
Very technical and catch wrestling to start. Very, very good. Very mat-centric, which was good. Strong style, New Japan, I definitely get that. Why would you ever bite the ropes? Ow.
So there's a great spot where he's basically got him wrapped up in the stretch. And Kyle is trying to get to the ropes and he can't get to the ropes. And because they were telling the story.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And Kyle just sticks his head out and just bites onto the ropes. And Finn says, okay, and kicks the ropes right into his face.
For those that don't know, ropes is a very...
they are cables.
Yeah,
the
misleading.
WWE uses... Yes, they use cables.
And they're wrapped in duct tape.
And they are wrapped in duct tape across it. Some people use ropes. The WWE uses cables, if I remember correctly. Or does the main show use ropes? Because I remember that was a big complaint, was them not using cables.
Oh, I'm just used to cables.
I imagine NXT uses cables, but I'm used to cables as well, too.
The trainer, they made it look legit, like the trainer checked on him.
Yeah, so the idea is that...
You broke my jaw, I'm going to break yours.
You broke my jaw, I'm going to break yours. And Kyle sold his jaw pretty well. It's an awkward thing to sell as the jaw, because they gave a good shot of every time he took a bump that smacked him across the face or anything, he grabbed the jaw. And even my wife just kind of looked over and was like, is he really hurt? And I'm like, no, he's selling. And she goes, he's really good because he looks like he's really hurt. And I looked back, and when they showed the replay of him kicking the thing, I was like, ooh, I bet he's got a massive headache from that.
There was an amazing triangle choke.
Yes.
All of the submissions and switches were wow.
They were spot on. It didn't look like anybody was not prepared to catch an arm. It looked like everybody was there. They were fishing good. Kyle, as they have built up, is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. The things that he was doing was good, and I remember there's the spot when Finn gets the side of his eye busted open at the end, where he's trying to break Finn's grasp, and he's doing the swim on the arms, and they were kind of watching like, that's odd. I was like, no, that's what they want you to do. You don't want to fight and yank. You want to just hit and break a guy's arm, his grip across. So it was very good.
He took another shot to the jaw, kick, and then he had the best and most interesting way to break the crossface I've ever seen, where he was just like just punching it up.
Yeah. So he gets caught in it, and he takes his hands and he like bumps it across his face and rakes it across his face to get it out. That's why I said I have no notes, because I was dialed in, and I just want people to watch this match. If you have the network, watch this match. If you have to pirate this sumbitch, watch it. I am giving this my first 5-star. This was a damn good match.
Drop to the kick in the corner. Did not get the coup de grace. I'm sorry, but a crimson mask that is not.
Finn got hardwayed. Legit hardwayed across the top.
Yes, but he said, he's got the crimson mask. No, he didn't.
If we're talking about the Muda scale, it was probably like a 1. I mean, it was bleeding good.
A kick to the liver? Dad wanted to know if that was like a legit liver injury?
Yes, a liver shot will drop you. Boss Rutan, who is a good commentator, who's done a lot of stuff, was very famous for the liver shot. That's why they called it El Guapo. But if you get hit in the liver, you will crumple so bad. You can go watch tons of UFC highlights where guys get liver shots and get dropped. That's what put Brock down when when he fought Overeem just kneed him in the guts as hard as he could.
So I gave this match 3.5 stars. I didn't see.
You're out of your fucking mind.
I thought the match their other match was better. I thought their other match was better.
I don't. I would say it's on par with the same. I think the main thing is that I think that a little bit of the drama of the fact that we knew Finn was really hurt in that match with the broken jaw. I think that might have been a huge part of it. But I
did like. I read Balor's lips at the end. Put the fucking belt in my hands.
Yes, yes. Finn he had his face busted. I think you could actually see his eyelid busted. Not his eyelid, but his eyebrow busted.
And then the referee tried to raise his hand. He's like, no. I'm not looking at my arm.
Yeah, no. Those guys beat the shit out of each other in one of the most hard-hitting matches that you will see in a while. I was blown away. I kick myself. As soon as we closed the gates on this, I went, fuck, I didn't draft Kyle O'Reilly. And somebody beat me to Finn. Because this I felt good watching this match. I felt like I watched a championship match with two guys in a great position who should be in the championship, who proved that you do not have to look like Bobby Lashley to be a legit badass MMA, as they love to say, competitor, that guys who wrestle at 165 are just as capable and deadly at guys at 265. And I believed it. I fucking believed it. My wife was sitting there and believing it. And she's more of like the story as opposed to the action, and her going, ooh, is he really hurt? Ooh, what happened there?
I did believe, you know what, I'm going to jump it up to 4. I'll give it to 4.
This is my first 5-star. I legitimately love this match. Go back and watch the recap of this on the network.
So what was the interest? So then they had a really interesting ending. You had Balor just looking down at him.
Yeah. So the main thing is to remember from this, Balor made him tap. The submission expert, Kyle O'Reilly, had to tap out because... So we're not really setting this up properly. If you didn't catch it, the idea is that he shoots into the ropes and Finn's kind of hanging there on the side. And when O'Reilly runs in, Finn side kicks him right in the guts and just drops him. And O'Reilly's hugging and he's down. And Finn wraps him up and basically puts him kind of like in a weird omoplata, like Rings of Saturn looking thing.
Yeah, it was...
And stretches him out. I think he was trying to go for like an omoplata. I couldn't really tell. But the idea is he yanked up on him and that internal injury was just so bad that Kyle had to tap in a very awkward way. He kind of had to do like this to get it before the ref caught him.
There was really nowhere for his hands to go.
Yes, and that happens. That happens in MMA matches. You know, sometimes that, for example, the match on the first show we talked about with Khabib, he put Justin unconscious because the ref didn't see him tapping. Like, so I loved this match.
It was weird. It was a weird. Like Balor looked like, I don't know if I should shake your hands or see if you're okay or what. And then O'Reilly looked like he was gonna cry. O'Reilly looked like he was gonna cry because you got to think too. Undisputed Era, as they said, is not a leadership. It's not a faction. It's the brand, for lack of a better terms. It's 4 guys who push each other to the elite level. You got left Ring of Honor to do so.
The whole time it's Kyle is going to fulfill his destiny. Yeah. And the promo he cut last week. I've been in this business 15 years and nobody gives a damn about me. As soon as I take that off of you, I'm a somebody. And now he had that look on his face like, he made me tap. I had to admit that I gave up, that he's the better man. I didn't come up short. I didn't get my tights yanked or anything like that. Maybe I'm not hot shit. And the guys are out there kind of consoling him, and he kind of had that look like, you know, that look of like, I don't want you people here right now. Mm-hmm. I don't need you to tell me how close I got. I know how close I got. Right. And Finn looking down on him, doing the same thing of, damn, he got close. Do I shake his hand or do I motherfuck him and walk off, you know? And that was a great shot because it gives them an option. They could come back. If these guys come back again, I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to have to just fucking blow each other's brains out because that match was so legit.
So now let's talk about the worst wrestling show of the year.